Hello and welcome to another tutorial with me, Gabia. And today we're going to learn how to build one of these awesome houses that I have in the background. Um, and the special thing about these houses is that the resources that they require is pretty much what you can get in the first 20 minutes of gameplay. And so they're resource efficient, but they look great. So guys, how do you spend your first day in Minecraft? Well, I would say you would spend around 5 minutes chopping down trees and 5 minutes chasing food and 10 minutes underground. And the 10 minutes underground, basically you spend 7 minutes maybe digging and then 3 minutes crafting up stuff. So here's what you would roughly get in that time, I reckon. And bear in mind, I have tested this several times, and this is roughly actually what you end up with. So 4 stacks of stone or so, 2 stacks of wood. You can get more if you happen to end up in a good seed. Some dirt, coal, food, iron, and some tools. So what should you build from this stuff? Well, this is roughly what I would build to start off with. So I would keep half a stack of wood. I would build quite a lot of stairs and slabs, and yeah, you can pause the video and have a look, of course. So now that we know what resources we're gonna use and can be expected to gather, let's have a closer look at one of these houses. So I mean, it's a cobble house, but it's surrounded by and held up by and supported by wood. And on the inside we have storage, gear, crafting station, and even a little chair and a bed, of course. So that's that one. Let's have a look at the next one. It's pretty much the same story. I actually remember to put in the crafting table in this one. This one feels a bit more spacious. Pardon me. This one feels a bit more spacious maybe because we don't have the chest there, but instead a double chest. And this one also has an attic, which is the storage. Okay guys, so to build one of these houses you need an area that is around 13 by 13 big, or if you go for a smaller version of the house you can go for 11 by 11. And always when you build, the first thing to think about is location, really. So where do you want to build this? In this case we already have quite a nice location. There's a valley down here and a hill over here, and we already have some houses. So we're going to go ahead and build here. So first thing you need to do is really outline the inside of your house. And this house is going to be yay big. So actually it's going to be this big, 5 by 3. So just go ahead and plop down some oak or whatever obviously wood you happen to find. So this is going to be our house. We're going to surround it by cobble. So we're making one of the famous cobble boxes. And I'll be back when we're done. Alright guys, we have a cobble box. So now we need to make some windows. And so it's going to be one there and one there. Obviously you can actually do this while you're building it in survival. That's a lot easier. And so that's that. Now, the house needs some support. So on every corner just chuck up some logs. Okay, and the logs need some support, so chuck up some some stair action like this on the corner of each one of the logs. And you go for the outer and corners only, not the ones facing in towards the wall. We'll get back to that in a second. Now, for the inner corners, the corners facing the walls, what we want to do is we want to make the wall feel like it's rounded off nicely, so that's why we use cobble stairs there instead, like so. And you can put up some supports on the middle of the long side as well. That looks nice and it feels kind of realistic. So what we're doing now, by the way guys, is we're working with depth and materials. So we're working with depths and materials. So we need to think about the fact that the build needs to look 3-dimensional. So that's why these logs go out a block, for instance, and it's also why we're putting down these stairs. And we also need to think about different materials, so that's why we're working with cobble and with stone, and sorry, with cobble and with wood and with planks. So the thing is, if you're in survival, you might be in a bit of a pickle now, so you might want to put in your door and put it in from the inside, because it gives more depth like that. And now you're actually ready to sleep your first night in your house if you want to. Alright, I want to also quickly show you on an alternative placement of the logs, which I find sometimes it's really cool and sometimes it doesn't suit at all. But what we've done here is we've added 2 logs instead of 1. You can see what it looks like now. So we've basically enclosed the corner in 2 logs like this. And what it does give you is 2 things. It gives you a smaller front, which might look really nice. So now if we put stairs and do the same on the other side, as we have on this side, it'll look like this is a completely round surface. In fact, you can see it here. It looks incredibly cozy and hobbit-esque, you might say. So that's something to think about. The other thing it gives you is that it gives you this corner here, and as you can see over here, we can put fences in there with torches or other decorations such as those. So that is definitely an option. The inner frame of the house, so the cobble frame and the walls area and stuff like that, is all still the same. Next up, let's talk about windows, guys. I usually go with fences, because you have wood and you don't necessarily have sand or anything fancy, and also wooden fences look really sufficiently rustic for this house, and they just blend in. You can obviously go with a glass pane. I think that looks too modern for this house, although I'd have nothing against glass panes in general. What I would do with the glass pane though is I would go for a black one or a light grey one. In fact, a light grey one might look quite nice. Obviously that's a later question, because you won't necessarily have dye at this point. Your third option for windows anyway is the trapdoor, and that's nice because you get great visibility, although I'm not exactly fond of the texture. I wish they had trapdoors of every type of wood, and in that case I would definitely use them. So anyway, we're gonna actually change these out for fences all around, but you can obviously go for what you want. And next up, guys, we're gonna work on the roof, and the roof is, as you can see here, is basically stairs. Now I have usually got an overhang like this, and that makes the roof look quite steep. You can also go like I've done here without the overhang, and that makes the roof look quite big. So it's up to you, of course, but in this case we're going to build with the very sloped roof like that. So basically what you want to do, you want to look at these things that you built as supports, obviously. So the outer edge of the roof is going to come on these support beams. In point of fact, if you want to be nitpicky about it, you can actually put a support beam like that as well, and actually use this beam. So this is going to be the sides of the roof, and basically what you do is you line it in cobble. Obviously in survival you would have to hop around, and actually, this is what takes absolutely the longest time to do on the house. So I reckon if you spend 20 minutes gathering resources, like we said before, you probably spent 20 minutes building what you got so far here, and then the rest of the time really is going to be spent building the roof. So be prepared for that, be a bit patient, have a lot of food, and a bed nearby. Alright, we have a frame. Again here, with the roof, it's really important to think about depth and material. So we went out one on the side with the door from the support. And this is just to give a bit more depth. And the same thing here, although I left some blocks there. So we go out one from there, but we keep in line with the supports on the long sides of the house. So yeah, and now we come to the part where we have different materials. So we just go for some oaks in the middle. Obviously, I'm just assuming you're finding oak and cobble. You can have other types of stone or stuff like that, of course. Although it's more likely that you have other types of wood. So I thought I would show you a little bit about how I usually do these roofs in survival. So basically shift down, and I usually try and place, once you have the frame in place, I usually try and place all of the side at once. So I go around like this, because the annoying thing about stairs is basically that you have to move sideways when you place them. And so this minimizes the amount of sideways movement you have to do, basically. That would be my idea. So yeah, guys, fill this roof in and we'll get on with the next step. Alright guys, we're almost done with the outside here actually. So for now anyway. So what we need to do now is we need to look at this roof and see that it's very nice on the outside, but on the inside of the roof it's very jagged, because we still have sort of full blocks there. So what you want to do is you want to take your stairs and place them like so. And that gives you a nicer slope on the inside here as well. Now we're going to deal with this area here by placing a stair like that. So you do that on the other side as well, and also you can go on and place stairs on the inside of the wood here as well, of the wooden part of the floor. Now I know this uses a lot of stairs, and stairs are expensive, and don't worry if you don't have enough for the whole thing at once. You can always come back to it later and finish it off. So once you're done with that part, you need to also think about where the gable is going. In this house, for instance, we have it out one from the wall, from the cobble wall. In fact, I think I have that on all of these. Now you could do so that it's also in line with the wall, like this. But personally, I think that looks a bit too flat for my taste. So in fact, you don't have to place these stairs. I'm lying. So yeah, just fill this in for now. Right guys, this is what it will look like when you're done with that. So now we can punch a hole for a window here if you want to. And now we have to deal with this space here. So what you can do with this is you can put an upside down stair like that to give even more depth. And that's what I usually do. Now this whole gable now has a little bit of a, I mean, it could do with a bit more maybe decoration. So what you can do is you can punch out some of those stairs, put full blocks in there, and then put stairs like that, for instance, or even like that. I'll show you what this looks like. So that looks nice. Or you can even put a stair there to sort of round off your window up there. Now that looks like that looks like a good thing to do if you're actually gonna have a second floor. So we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the outside. You can decorate it to your heart's content. I usually put fences underneath here to give even more sense of support. And obviously you can remove your extra blocks, and you can go around and do things like lights and stuff. Alright guys, so let's deal with the inside now. And at the moment, as you can see, it's kind of bulky in here and blocky, so you can foresee that we're going to do some action with the upside down stairs again here. Now you don't have to do the whole thing though. You have to first of all decide if you want to have a an attic or not. If you want to have an attic, you need to put it down in at the same height as the cobble wall. So we need a slab. I'm going to build this one with an attic, by the way, just to show you how to do it. Otherwise You just fill the whole place with as much smoothness as you can. But we'll show you both here, I think. So yeah, you would do your attic like this. This means that your wall height down here is 2.5 blocks, which is more than sufficient, and also incidentally it keeps Endermen out. You punch a hole here and make a way up, a ladder or so. So if you want to use this as a storage room, you want to have as much space as possible, obviously. So for that reason you wouldn't necessarily put in all the stairs. So for instance, I would skip this row here and put chests there, but I would do this one because otherwise it looks a bit silly. Right guys, let's have a look at the interior downstairs now. It's quite simple really. You have a crafting station, a chest, a bed and a ladder up to your storage. Actually up here you probably want to have a torch or two as well, so there we go. And that's really about it for this house. Now there is one extra feature I can show you, or an extra option, and that is if you punch a hole here, put some cobble up there, and then go up on the second floor. You see that this is where we have this cobble. We can actually make a chimney. Now this does infringe obviously on your storage, so if you want a lot of storage space, then maybe wait until you don't need your attic anymore. But we can do it like that, and there we have a chimney. It's obviously not functional, but it does look great. Okay, one thing I forgot about the attic is that you need to smooth off the top of that. So I usually put stairs over here, so you can put things like stairs on the end to make little dragon heads. So there you have it guys, the awesome starter home that you can build in survival in under an hour's worth of gameplay. If you like this video, leave a like and feel free to subscribe and check out some other videos on the channel. But for now guys, this has been viking, and bye bye!